So listen, folks, you know everything that we always want to talk about is how does an entrepreneur go from hello to yes? How does an entrepreneur work through all of their different gyrations and from one business to another to find the place where they could really, sit down and achieve that space of fulfillment, that like, wow, this is really what I wanted to do. This is my calling. This is how I could help make the world a better place. This is how I could create generational wealth. This is how I could create a legacy by really giving and serving other people. And, every once in a while, things just happen in our lives. And, for me, my son Riley has played basketball with another child. His name is Chase. And his dad and I have known each other for about 5 years. Very just like, hey, how you doing? What's going on kind of conversations. But along the way, we grew closer and closer. And today, this is a special treat for all you folks out there. I have with me Jordan Bazant. What's up, Jordan?
How are you
doing, brother?
Doing great.
Jordan Bazant, the story he's about to share with you is incredible. I've never really interviewed somebody like this, so I'm really excited about it. Just to be able to follow the journey and be able to follow where he's been, where is he now, and where he's going is pretty incredible. So once we get into all that, I'd love to be able to kind of share that part of the process. But before we get going, Jordan, where are you originally from?
From Berkeley Heights, New Jersey.
New Jersey's in the house, everybody.
Yeah, north central Jersey. So,
yes. So is that where you grew up? Like grammar school, high school kind of thing?
The whole thing. It was a great Italian immigrant town.
Is that where you are, Italian?
No, I'm Polish.
Oh, you're Polish?
Polish,
okay.
But all the Italians adopted me, so I had some great Sunday meals.
A lot of meatballs and spaghetti.
A lot
chicken
of chicken
parm.
A lot of sleeping on the couch in between courses.
And we say fried galamad here, right? We don't say fried calamari,
No, you
right?
don't.
For all you folks out there outside of New Jersey, we do say fried galamad. So Berkeley Heights, man, what was it like? What was your younger days? What sports were you into? What was your family?
I had a great family. My mom and dad were really committed to raising a family. So my dad was an attorney in New York.
Oh, wow.
And my mom basically said, not going to happen. You're going to be home every night for dinner. You can go back to the office after that, but you're going to be home for dinner every night. So we ate as a family every night, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
It was a little bit unusual these days. But
yes.
I got a brother and a sister. I'm the baby of the crew, and Berkeley Heights is it's a boring town as a kid to grow up in, but it's a great town to raise a family.
Safe.
Yeah, it's safe.
Right?
And
everybody knew each other's business.
Yeah, you left your doors unlocked.
Yeah.
Everyone knew each other. You played with your neighbors. You did everything. It was great.
Awesome. And what high school did you go to?
I went to a public school called Governor Livingston.
Okay.
Governor Livingston.
How was that?
It was great. I mean, it's small.
Same kids from grammar school?
Same kids. You grew up, and every class was the same kids. You knew everybody since they were 3. So.
Wow. So you still have any of those roots, those connections?
I got a lot of those roots. I got a lot of those friends.
Yeah.
We're just a lot older. So.
That's an interesting point because I grew up in Bayonne, right? So some of my very best friends to this day are the kids that I spent time in the schoolyard with. So when you and I both live in the same area, how is it for you growing up where you grew up, knowing where we live now and different relationships? How does that operate in your system? Well, for me, I'm more of a guarded person, right? Until the shell goes down, then I'll open up and have a lot of fun. I'm not saying that was you, but I know that was me just because of my roots. Did you notice that about anything?
I did. It's interesting since we lived in New York City for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
New York was a lot more similar to a small town in New Jersey than you'd think. And it's primarily because in New York, as a parent, you couldn't let your kid go do anything by themselves. So you had to spend all the time with them, right?
Yeah.
You can't just open up the back door and let them go run around.
Now, you as a child lived there, or you as a parent?
As a parent.
Okay, got it.
As a parent. So we were there until my oldest was 11.
Wow.
So we've lived here for 9 years now, but before that, we lived in the city the whole time. And then, you would grow up. When I was growing up, we had a 1,700 square foot house.
Yeah.
So you were on top of each other.
Yep.
And it's the same thing in New York.
Yeah.
Right. So there was one television, and you had to figure out what the whole family was going to watch.
Yes.
So it's a lot different than here. So, that transition from a small town in New Jersey to college and then to New York City was a good transition for me to get to here. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. Where did you go to college?
I went to Vanderbilt University.
Okay.
I played football at Vanderbilt.
Did you really? What position?
I actually sat at Vanderbilt.
But what were you
So I was a slot and a place kicker.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Even if you told me that, I don't remember, so I apologize.
No worries.
Yeah.
I probably did. But I sat.
Dude,
it was a great experience.
Were you a good high school player? Like
No.
in the area?
No, I mean,
Was your team good?
we were terrible. We were absolutely terrible. But I walked on and just tried to be a place kicker. I was an all-state soccer player.
Oh, you were.
And so I walked on and just tried to kick and just thought it would be fun to do. And, you know, to me, I saw my opportunity. My head coach at the time, after my freshman year, he left. And the second coach was a guy named Jerry DiNardo. And he was a New York guy.
Yeah.
And so his dad used to come to practice every day. And his dad and our basketball coach's dad, a guy named Eddie Fogler, they were both cab drivers in New York City.
Eddie Fogler.
He then went to South Carolina, and
Yeah.
he had a pretty good career. He was at Wichita State prior. But
His name's so familiar to me.
yeah, he was a really good coach, really good. And Jerry went on to coach at LSU and Indiana and some other places. But their dads were always on the sidelines, so I just started talking to their dads.
And this is during high school?
No, this was during college.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that the only reason why I was still on the team is because both their dads liked me.
Okay.
And I entertained their dad during practice.
So you learned influence and proximity
Yeah.
at a very young age.
An opportunity.
Yeah, tremendous.
Yeah.
For all you entrepreneurs out there, influence with integrity, proximity. Proximity is power. We learn that through the process of really understanding if somebody has what you want and if somebody is proven in what you're trying to get, you could turn decades into days by standing on their shoulders, doing what they did and add 10%, right? Do what they did and add 10%. So what Jordan just shared, which I think is really cool, thank you for that, is, all-state soccer player, not an easy thing in New Jersey, goes to college and becomes a place kicker. During that time, he created good relationships with people that genuinely liked him. So likability is another tool of influence. And at the end of the day, because of influence proximity, he was able to, and entertainment, good communicator, right? So even if you're not comfortable communicating, sit in a mirror, read something out loud, watch yourself as you're reading something out loud, get it in your nervous system. It'll really help you to be able to articulate that in other parts of your life.